China is building a new wall, but it isn't the Great Wall of China. This new barrier is green, alive, and its enemy is not an invading army, but an encroaching desert. According to a UN study, vast dry lands, including deserts, cover over 41% of the Earth's land surface. China, with its enormous population of over 1.4 billion people, needs every inch of its available space. However, despite its immense size, only 12% of the land is arable. Yet, with this limited land, China manages to feed 22% of the world's population. It's an incredible effort, but the Chinese government was deeply concerned about one thing: the Gobi Desert. The Gobi Desert spans about 500,000 square miles of northern China and southern Mongolia. So, while the government is no longer concerned about desert invaders from the north invading Beijing, the ever-expanding dryness of northern China poses a severe danger to the country and its people. The Gobi Desert is the world's fastest-spreading desert, swallowing over 2,250 square miles of once fertile grassland per year. This relentless expansion devastates agricultural land and generates sandstorms that wreak havoc on populations living along the desert's edge. Prepare to witness a monumental battle between man and nature, where one of the world's most ambitious ecological engineering projects is trying to stop the desert from taking over. Stay with us until the very end to find out if this Great Green Wall can truly save China. Welcome to Young Curiosity, where we unravel the mysteries that shape our world. If you're fascinated by massive environmental projects and human ingenuity, you're in the right place. Please take a moment to smash that like button, subscribe to Young Curiosity for more mind-bending insights, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps us bring these incredible topics to life. Chinese desertification has been a continuous problem since the 1950s, when the newly formed People's Republic began converting forests and wildlands into farms to feed a rapidly growing population. This human activity exposed vast areas of land to relentless wind erosion and desert deposits, accelerating the spread of the Gobi. The government became acutely aware of the problem by the 1970s and took decisive action in 1978, initiating the 3 North Shelter Belt Project, more commonly known as the Great Green Wall. It was a massive statewide ecological engineering project with the audacious goal of halting the Gobi Desert's spread by planting millions of trees along its 2,800-mile border with northern China. The Ministry of Forestry hoped these strategically placed trees would function as a giant windbreak, slowing the desert's relentless march. In the decades since, the government has supported and developed several large-scale forestation initiatives, culminating in what has become the world's largest tree planting endeavor. To contribute to this common cause, every citizen above the age of 11 is legally required to plant 3 poplars, eucalyptus, or larches each year. The government also pays villagers to plant seedlings and leases private land for forest planting. As the trees mature, growers are allowed to harvest them for wood. This initiative, unofficially titled Lu Se Chang Cheng, or the Great Green Wall of China, was also designed to reduce poverty, providing a new source of income for millions of people. Reforestation has become one of the world's most important environmental projects. The planting process is meticulous. Grass and indigenous trees are planted first, followed by hardier, drought-resistant species, and then the toughest trees, such as poplars. Planting teams are formed, and seeds are dispersed throughout the plains. Each year, China's elites, including ministers and high-ranking officials, join specialists and amateurs in planting trees. An astonishing 500 million people participate in this magnificent annual event. Although billions of trees have already been planted, the project's ambitious goal is to plant a staggering 100 billion trees by 2050. The Chinese can now even contribute to this effort through online donations, which are legally collected and used for planting. According to the Chinese government, around 66 billion trees have been planted in northern China over the past several decades. The results have been nothing short of extraordinary. Between 2009 and 2014 alone, thousands of moving dunes were stabilized, and the frequency of sandstorms was cut in half throughout the country. A study by the Chinese Academy of Sciences revealed that over 7.88 million hectares of windbreak trees have been planted. 336,200 square kilometers of desertification have been reversed, and over 10 million hectares of grasslands have been protected and regenerated in the previous 40 years. This comprehensive method has contributed to an increase in total forest coverage from just 10% in 1949 to around 25% today. The government reports that since 2000, deserts had been growing by 10,400 square kilometers every year. By 2017, that number had fallen dramatically to about 2,400 square kilometers per year, an incredible victory against desertification. The northern region's green cover has increased from 5% to 13.5%, while parts of the Gobi Desert are now blooming with lush vegetation, rich soil, and more rainfall. Another monumental achievement was the establishment of a luxurious forest area in the northern Mo'us Desert. By 2020, 93% of the Mo'us Desert would be vegetated, making it one of China's 4 largest deserts to be successfully transformed. At the start of the century, almost 27% of China was desert. As a result of the government's unprecedented efforts, the rate is expected to fall to 18% by 2020. Do you think a project of this scale is possible in other countries? Tell us below. However, the Great Green Wall project is not without its flaws. Some opponents of the initiative are highly critical, but the majority of the critiques are focused on the dangers of monoculture. Many of the planted woodlands consist of just one tree species, rendering them extremely vulnerable to massive epidemics of disease or pests. For example, a vast number of trees have been devastated by plant diseases, wiping out years of progress. The World Bank advised China to prioritize the quality and diversity of tree species over sheer number. Another bizarre controversy arose a few years ago. Large Chinese cities, particularly Beijing, suffer from severe pollution, which increases year after year despite government efforts. Cities are supposed to be cleaned by winds pushing smog out. However, this has become infrequent. A theory emerged that the new forest plantings might have hindered air movement, resulting in stagnant, polluted air in cities that could not be cleaned. Zhao Yongli, the deputy head of the People's Republic of China's State Forestry Administration, had to explicitly contradict this claim, stating that trees can only hinder air circulation near the land surface. In any case, the benefits of the project have been widely seen to exceed the drawbacks, notably in their engagement and pollution reduction. But there are also other downsides to mass tree planting in such an aggressive manner. Farmers in southwestern China were spotted removing native vegetation to earn government funding for spreading non-native plants as part of a government effort. Then there's the critical issue of water. Large areas of China, especially in the tree planting zones, are becoming drier. A 2019 study showed that the project's thirsty non-native trees have depleted groundwater resources in arid portions of northern China. A 2004 study tragically found that only 15% of trees planted after 1978 had survived. This highlights a fundamental flaw in the initial strategy. The good news is that the National Forestry Department has since recognized the error of planting thirsty trees in dry areas and has begun to pivot towards cultivating shrubs and hardy native plants that require less water. The project is evolving. All these factors together help to tell the incredibly complex and powerful story of China's Great Green Wall, a monumental effort to re-engineer a landscape on a scale never before seen. Well, that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like button, and be sure to comment on what we should cover next. Until next time, peace.